There are 3 key focuses to aiming better in Battlefield 6 as I've learned across 10 years of Battlefield games. Settings, techniques, and practices. Loads of tips for each one. I've timestamped the sections for your convenience as well. Use EA supporter creator code GetGoodGuy when purchasing EA products. Tip 1. Settings make or break your aim. Sensitivity for both mouse and controller users. Everyone's different, so your optimal sensitivity is extremely unlikely to be whatever the default is. A good test is to go into the firing range and just practice moving from target to target in a natural fashion. If you're flying past the target, your sensitivity is too high. If you're struggling to get to the target, your sensitivity is probably too low. Next, remember that your overall sensitivity is separate to your aiming sensitivity, so you want to make sure you can comfortably look around whilst moving and then aim precisely when you aim down sight. So the 2 settings are very important and can be completely different. There's also a uniform soldier aiming setting. I have this on, so it all feels nice and consistent across different magnifications and such. Next up, you can set your response curve to whichever battlefield you're most comfortable with. So I set mine to the BF1 settings. If you're totally new to Battlefield, just experiment and see what you're comfortable with. There's also acceleration to control whether there's a ramp up in speed when you try to move your aim or not, and dead zones for controllers. The lower the setting, the less lag there will be for the game responding, but when it comes to stick dead zones, you want to make sure you don't have it so low that you get stick drift and have your aim moving around without you meaning to. Also, there's aiming ratio for how balanced your vertical and horizontal aiming are, and so on and so on. It will all be unique to you, but I do have a full settings breakdown for controllers in another video, which I'll link in the description if you want to watch it after this one for some additional help in the menus. Okay, so you have your settings somewhat sorted now, so let's move on to techniques. Control your recoil. I get accused of cheating because of my recoil control, although usually by people on Facebook and TikTok. Make of that what you will. Yes, I do have both links in the description, but it's actually very simple. Wide field of view, wide aiming view, and pull down on the stick or mouse, of course. Okay, so it's not exactly easy to instantly master if you aren't experienced at it, but if you practice enough, it's very much manageable to achieve. Field of view and aiming view are both in the settings. Good so far? Question mark? If so, I'd be delighted if you subscribe to help me finally get to 100k subs. You also get 10% caller for life. Lucky you. Next, it's easier to track the target if they're spotted. If you're looking at an enemy and you aren't getting the red marker above them, quickly hit that spot button if you can. I've got into the habit of marking enemies pretty often before I fire, as long as I don't need to instantly shoot. It makes it way easier to keep focused on them as you try to take them down. Next, remember the guns have muzzle or bullet velocity and bullet drop. Not relevant at close range, but the further out you go, the more you need to account for it. So get used to leading your targets more so by firing in front of them as they run, if you need to, and for super long range, be prepared to aim above the target. As you've seen though from my footage, a lot of the time you can just aim at the enemy. But for our next one, for those longer ranges, with certain guns you might have more luck with burst firing or switching to semi-auto fire mode. On controller, for example, if your gun has an alternate fire mode, you can change to it with the down directional button. Either way, again, as you can see in the footage, I haven't felt the need to do this all that much so far in BF6, but I've relied on burst firing rather than holding a huge amount in previous Battlefield games for longer ranges, so we'll see if it becomes meta to do so again at some point. But, linked to this, keep in mind the range your gun is designed to be used at. I've had a lot of questions over the years about why it looks like I find it so easy to use certain guns, and part of it is simply using them in their designed fashion. I'm generally not trying to kill a sniper 80 meters away whilst using an SMG, so when I do use the SMG at the range it's designed at, my viewers only see me using it well because it's easy to use there. Make the gun shine when you use it, rather than allowing it to make you look bad by overstretching its capabilities. Leading on from this is our next tip. You can of course alter your weapons capabilities with your attachment selection, so build the gun in the way that supports how you play, or play in a way that utilizes how that gun is specifically built. Either way, you can look out for my build guides if you want help with that, and I'm throwing my build guide cheat sheets into one place so you can easily see them without revisiting videos over and over on Patreon. Here's an example build guide cheat sheet from the beta. The link is in the description. It's as little as $5 a month and it'll hugely help me to keep making content for the long term, so thank you anyone that joins us over there. Next up is sight selection. So this is part of attachment still, but actually really genuinely think about your sight. If you excel with iron sights, then great. If you need more magnification, then throw on a scope. Don't feel like you have to copy what most players are doing. Like, I run a high magnification scope sometimes on an SMG because it suits me. I don't care if other people do it, it helps me to play better. Next tip, strafing or aiming with your feet. On this occasion, this isn't actually about dodging enemy rounds, although it can work for that. Sometimes, for some players, moving your feet can be better than moving your sights. If you practice and get used to knowing you can do either or both, as I've shown throughout the footage today, to stay on target, you'll become a lot more lethal and versatile. I know this one sounds weird to some of you, but please try it out and see if it helps. And to round out the techniques, basic alterations like utilizing hipfire at close range with the right guns, to not be one of those players that feels like they have to aim down sight for everything. Do it when it's the right time. Also, crosshair centering. Have your crosshair where it's most useful and you think enemies are most likely to pop out from. Don't get lazy and allow that crosshair to aim at the floor, otherwise you're dead trying to pick it up if someone surprises you. Okay, so let's do section 3, practices. How are you going to keep yourself sharp and improve those techniques? Well, firstly, you can warm up, something in the portal or the firing range to get yourself in the groove when you jump on the game. Or just have a regular routine of doing this now and again to stay sharp. A bit like using an aim trainer, which you can do if you want on PC. This tip and some others today actually feature in my 50 tips to easily get better at BF6 video for more general play if you want to see those after this video. Next up, obviously the basics of regular play are key. Don't force yourself to play when you don't wish to, of course, but playing the game regularly and in a focused fashion can see you make exponential gains for a while as you look to improve. Like, if you pick your aim up over 2 weeks and then you don't play for 2 months, that's obviously going to knock you back a bit. But moving on, if you do want to play other games, if they're shooters, you can focus on the tips that aren't purely mechanical, so even though the games may feel different to BF6, you can still continue to build up those good habits that provide skills which can be relevant across different shooters. But when you are playing BF6, take your time. Don't look to emulate your favorite streamers or whatever if you aren't at that level. Enjoy the game and play at your pace. You can ramp this up as you get better. That's a healthy mindset. Just ensure you're balancing this out with not being afraid to pull the trigger. It's okay to miss, and sometimes it's even optimal to just spray away. Next up, when playing or practicing or whatever you're going to call it, be conscious of what's happening in the gunfight. I've found that a lot of players seem to kind of go blank once the fight starts. They begin the engagement, hold the trigger down, and then see who wins. Ask yourself in the moment if you're actually landing your damage. Do you need to adjust? Stare at where your crosshair actually is and if it's on the enemy or not. And if you die, ask yourself what you could have done better. If it wasn't your fault, then cool. But if it was, try to correct the error in future. And on top of all this, video review or gameplay review. A lot of you won't record your gameplay or have the option to, but if you do, sometimes watching your playback can be helpful. As a YouTuber, I see my play all the time, so it's helped me a lot over the years to alter my failings when I'm on the game. And all of that, I hope, is worth your subscription to this awesome community, and indeed your hot like, hit the button. Thanks also to anyone that signed up for the Patreon to support the channel and get bonus content. YouTube is now suggesting another video of mine it thinks you'll like. I'll see you over there.